Thank you, Eitan. I'm really excited to share the hard work of all my team with you today. As part of the Velocity Network Foundation, some of the biggest names in HR and EdTech are demonstrating their seamless integration via the blockchain-based Velocity Network. As importantly for all of us as workers and students, our individual privacy comes first, thanks to innovations like W3C's Verifiable Credentials, and each of our career achievements can now be trusted to be 100% accurate and safe. I want to demonstrate a healthcare worker called Olivia. She is a bright young professional who is taking her first steps in the health industry. The demo simulates what would really take place over a few years. During her journey, she completes professional training, receives her licenses, onboards her first job, and professionally develops within that role. Olivia's story begins as she sets out to become a certified nurse aide, or CNA. She completes a nurse aide training competency evaluation program at the Northeast Community College in New Jersey. She now wants to claim the credential of her course completion on her new Velocity Career Wallet. When Olivia installed the Velocity Career Wallet on her personal device, she was prompted to add identity credentials to her wallet. Her driver's license was added using an automated Know Your Customer, or KYC service that is financial services grade. She scanned her license, took a selfie, and the KYC service face matches that data before issuing the license as a real verifiable credential. Once a process was completed, it was added under the profile section of her Velocity Career Wallet. Email addresses and phone numbers can be added as well using a process as familiar as signing up to WhatsApp. To claim her course completion credential from Northeast Community College, Olivia goes and opens up the training development category within her profile. She searches for the Northeast Community College and selects it from the list. The college is using Oracle's Student Information System, and Olivia's phone connects directly to that system using a private peer-to-peer connection. Before being able to offer a credential to Olivia, the college must confirm her identity. The Velocity Network permits this without using passwords at all. Instead, Olivia is requested to share some of the identity documents that were verified when she onboarded. Once identified by Oracle's SIS against her stored profile at Northeast, she's automatically authenticated and she receives an offer that they have for her preparation course completion credential. Olivia taps on the offer to view its details and make sure they are accurate, after which she accepts the offer and they arrive in her Velocity Career Wallet. They appear under the training and development category. In parallel, Oracle's system has written cryptographic key to Velocity's high-performance immutable blockchain. This key will be used at a later stage to prove the credential is valid and has not been tampered with. Olivia is now ready to take the New Jersey Department of Health CNA test. To be eligible to take the test, she must demonstrate to the Department of Health that she has completed the required training. She browses in the New Jersey Department of Health's website and reaches the test application page, where she finds a QR code that enables her to apply for the CNA test with her Velocity Career Wallet. Upon scanning this QR code with her app, she receives the disclosure request from the Department of Health. This request outlines the terms of the request, including which credentials Olivia is being asked to disclose. In this case, her identity documents and course completion certificate. It also describes the purpose of the disclosure and the duration that any data will be retained for. Recall that Olivia has full control over the credentials to share and which to exclude. She also must confirm that she accepts the terms and conditions of the disclosure. When she taps Share, the credentials are transferred on a private peer-to-peer connection to the New Jersey Department of Health system. To validate that the credential that was shared by Olivia is valid, the New Jersey Department of Health system can access the encrypted public key that was stored immutably by Northeast Community College in the step before. Being in possession of the credential enables the department to grab the key from the blockchain, decrypt it, and verify the digital signature on each credential is authentic, proving that the data can be 100% trusted. Once the credentials have been shared, the disclosure process completes and the record of it appears on the control center. This control center is where Olivia can track all her disclosure events, including whom the data was disclosed to, what was shared, and under what conditions. A month later, Olivia completes and passes the CNA test at the Department of Health and wants to claim her certification. On the certifications and licenses category, she searches for the Department of Health of New Jersey. She receives an offer, reviews it, and discovers a significant feature of the Velocity network. Any credential can be aligned to a published standard. In this case, the certification is aligned to Credential Engine's registry entry. Following the link that appears on the credential, Olivia or anyone she shares this credential with in the future can access this data and understand the associated skills and competencies that she has acquired. Issuers can add these alignments to any credentials issued on the network, making competency-based placements a step closer. With her CNA certification in hand, Olivia sets out on her job search. She finds an opportunity on Randstad's job search site and is presented with the option to apply with Velocity. She scans a QR code on the job application page and views the disclosure request. She's asked to share her profile information as well as certifications such as the CNA certification she now holds. She is also asked to disclose types of credentials which she doesn't have yet. That's okay. Randstad will take the verifiable credentials for as many elements of her resume as she can provide. She accepts the T's and C's and shares her credentials with Randstad. She then applies for another job opportunity, this time with JFK Hospital directly. She comes across the job posting on the hospital job site that is based on SAP SuccessFactors Applicant Tracking System, or ATS. She chooses to apply to the job with Velocity, scans a QR code, reviews the disclosure request. She accepts the terms and conditions and taps share. JFK Hospital has shortlisted Olivia and asks her to undergo a background check with HireRight. She receives an email invitation to HireRight's system where she is offered the option to share her profile via her Velocity Career Wallet. She scans a QR code again, shares her profile information and certification and course completion credentials. These credentials are transferred directly into HireRight's system, and Olivia is advised on the remaining steps of her background check process that will take place outside of the Velocity app. Okay, so now Olivia has been accepted to work at JFK Hospital and 2 years pass by. Olivia is doing great at her job. She feels it's time for her to move on in her career and decides to do the NCLEX Practical Nurse Examination. To qualify, the New Jersey Board of Nursing requires her to undergo a background check by CISIV. She receives an email invitation to CISIV's background check platform. Before applying, she collects from her employer her current employment position credential so that she can share it with the nursing school. She finds a hospital in the issuers list under employment, receives her CNA position offer from SumTotal's HCM software as a service system that JFK Hospital use. She saves it to her wallet. She also remembers that about a year ago, she went through a leadership assessment offered by the hospital. She believes that this achievement might help her get admitted to the training program. She now searches for Korn Ferry as an assessment vendor. It's sitting under the assessments category within the Velocity Career Wallet and claims that credential. The credential is quite detailed and includes information such as the norm size group, percentile scores, and a breakdown of her results into many dimensions. Equipped with all the credentials she has, she applies for the NCLEX practical nurse examination. She goes back to the email she received. After manually filling in her basic contact information, SciSiv can capture her employment details using the Velocity network. This means that instead of manually filling in these details using forms, she will open up her wallet and share the credentials. By scanning that QR code, she views the disclosure request once again, accepts the terms and conditions, and taps share. The data is shared privately on that peer-to-peer connection to SciSiv's system. She then informs SciSiv's website that she has completed this step by pressing next, and the details of the credentials she's just shared are populated automatically into the forms. Olivia has taken the exam and passed it successfully. The New Jersey Board of Nursing used SciSiv's pre-check to issue their licenses. When her license comes through from the board, SciSiv sent her another email that she can scan with her app. There is no need to search within certifications and licenses category like normal. She can simply scan the received QR code. Pre-check system will authenticate her without a password as usual, using those identity credentials she has on the wallet. And the license is then offered to her. At the same time, within SciSiv's data lake, they discover a new credential for her as a consequence of her background check. She, in the end, is offered both the license and this employment credential that was discovered during the manual portion of the background check. She reviews and saves them. And this is our just one more thing moment. Let's skip forward to April 2021. As we all know, it's been a tough year within the healthcare industry, but vaccinations are helping things come back to normal. The hospital needs their employees to share their COVID status to work with patients. Olivia has been vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine by her healthcare provider, MBS Health. MBS Health are issuing privacy-preserving verifiable credentials for their vaccination status to all their members. So Olivia gets her vaccination certificate that her employer can use to verify her status. Remember, by privacy preserving, we mean that there is no central vaccination registry. The proof that Olivia is vaccinated is on her device only and available only to those that she is happy to share it with. All right, that ends the demonstration. Thank you for letting me share that with you. It's been a real pleasure. And now, back to Eitan.